everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Irish Accent Podcast. As always, I hope your week is going well. Today's episode is going to be an advanced level podcast, so I'll be speaking at a completely normal, conversational pace, using all of the regular vocabulary, grammar, and expressions that you'll hear in daily life here. If this is too fast for you, I would definitely recommend checking out the video version on YouTube, where you can follow along with the text in front of you, which should hopefully make it much easier to understand. So, without any further ado, let's get into this week's episode. So, this week I wanted to further discuss the Irish school system. Although school systems are pretty similar all over the world, each country does have its own unique system, and Ireland is no exception. So in Ireland, education is compulsory for all children from the age of 6 to 16 years, or until students have completed 3 years of second level education. Most children in Ireland start school at the age of around 4. State-funded education is available at all levels, unless you choose to send your child to a private institution, which can be quite expensive. But honestly, nearly everyone I know went to a public school, so our parents didn't have to pay anything, and it was just free to send us to school. Of course, there are still lots of costs associated with sending your child to school, like buying school books, stationery and uniforms, etc. In Ireland, nearly every school has a uniform, which is definitely not common in America or the rest of Europe as far as I know. I read this week that in modern Europe, Britain, Malta and Ireland are the only countries where school uniform is widely adopted by state schools or public schools. So since I was 4 until the age of 18, I always wore a uniform going to school. It basically consisted of a skirt, a shirt, a tie and a jumper, and then neat black or brown shoes. In primary school, my uniform was navy, and in secondary school, my uniform was brown, so not the most exciting colours. I actually quite liked wearing a uniform because the decision was just made for me each morning in terms of what I was going to wear. I never had to be stressed about what to wear each day going into school. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, it's not compulsory for children under the age of 6 to go to school, but there is preschool education provided by privately funded childcare facilities or providers. However, there's also something called the Early Childhood Care and Education Programme, which is a universal free preschool programme available to children for up to 2 years before they start primary school. Then, when children are about 4 or maybe 5 years old, they go to primary school. There are 8 different grades or levels in primary school. The first year is called junior infants, the second year is called senior infants, and then there's first class, second class, etc., right up until 6th class. So if you're 4 years old going into junior infants, you'll be about 12 years old when you're in your final year of primary school, in 6th class. Primary schools start at about 9 a.m. or 9:30 and usually finish at about 3 o'clock, although the young students in junior and senior infants finish a couple of hours earlier than that. You study lots of different subjects in primary school, including maths, English, Irish, history, geography, art, music, religion, etc. From my perspective, there's really not much academic pressure on primary school students. They're still children, so although it's important that they learn lots in school and do their homework every evening, they're also given lots of time to play and do fun activities. Nobody expects primary school children to study beyond their homework or study at the weekend, for example. So after primary school, students move to a different school, which is called secondary school. There's 6 years in secondary school, although one of those years is optional. So there's first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and sixth year. Students are normally about 12 or 13 years old when they start first year, and for 3 years, so from first year until third year, they prepare for the junior certificate examination, which is taken at the end of the third year. This is the first big official exam that students sit in Ireland, but it actually doesn't really count towards anything, and it's more just to prepare students for exams in the future and to assess their current academic level. After third year, students can go into fourth year or transition year, but this is the optional year. So if students prefer to finish school quickly, they can skip fourth year and go directly to fifth year. The optional transition year is designed to allow students to grow in other areas outside of just school. So in this year, many students undertake short internships or work experience and learn new things like first aid or cooking. Then in fifth year and sixth year, students prepare for the Leaving Certificate or the Leaving Cert, which is the biggest exam students take in Ireland. When I was in school, most students took around 7 different subjects for the Leaving Cert. Everybody had to take English, Irish and maths, and then you could choose your other subjects. So, for example, you could choose music, technology, art or chemistry, but there was lots of options. I personally think this is a good system because it allows students to play to their strengths and actually study things that they're interested in or good at. Students are expected to study a lot in fifth year and especially in sixth year. They get a lot of homework and have a lot of preparatory exams throughout the year, so they have to study constantly. The Leaving Cert is held in June and students get accepted into university depending on their results in these exams. So if you want to go to college, you need to receive a certain number of points, depending on what degree you want to take in college. This has been quite a whistle-stop tour through the school system, but it's already turning into quite a long episode, so I'll wrap it here for today. If there's anything you're curious about or want to learn more about, please let me know and I can discuss it in more detail in future episodes. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll speak to you again in next week's episode.